This is episode 14, The Attention War. There's a war happening right now, not somewhere else, not out there. Inside your mind, inside your attention, inside your ability to hear yourself think. And most men have no idea that they're losing this war because the modern world does not need you dead. It just needs you distracted. Distracted enough that you never slow down long enough to ask, what is happening to me? Distracted enough that you keep reacting instead of living. Distracted enough that you will never hear the quiet voice underneath all the noise trying to call you back to yourself, back to God, back to truth. Look at your life honestly. How many moments of silence do you actually experience anymore? Real silence. Not TV in the background, not music, not podcasts, not scrolling, not another video, another opinion, not another man telling you how to think. It's not what I'm doing, by the way. I want you to think for yourself, man. But how often do you have silence? Most men can't even sit in it anymore because the second things get quiet, they reach for something. The phone, the app, the distraction, the dopamine, the noise. And if you really want to know what controls a man, look at what he reaches for automatically. That's the thing that's shaping him. The first thing you touch in the morning is shaping your mind. The things you consume all day are shaping your emotions. The voices you listen to are shaping your beliefs. The outrage you feed on is what is shaping your nervous system. And then men wonder why they feel anxious, reactive, mentally exhausted, spiritually numb, and emotionally disconnected. Brother, you're never designed to absorb this much noise. The world is fighting for your attention because attention is power. Where your attention goes, your life follows. And that's why everything wants it right now. Social media demands it. News wants it. Politics want it. Advertising wants it. Algorithms feed off of it. Fear wants it. Outrage wants it. And the terrifying part is most men willingly hand it over every day. You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, the world is already inside your mind. Other people's fears, other people's agendas, other people's anger and opinions, other people telling you what matters, who to hate, who to blame, what to fear, what to buy, what to chase, what should outrage you today. And slowly, without even realizing it, you stop belonging to yourself. You become reactive, pulled, fragmented, unable to sit still, unable to think clearly, unable to hear God because your mind is flooded with constant noise. And most men think that this is just normal now. That's what really scares me. That's the scary part. Your nervous system is fried. Man, your attention span is collapsing. Your relationships are thinning out. Your inner world is chaotic. And because everyone else is living like this too, it just feels normal. But normal does not mean healthy. The Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I know I've said it many times. Man, this comes from the Bible. It's renewing. It talks about renewing, not flooding, not numbing, not stimulating yourself into exhaustion. Renewing. But how can your mind renew if it never resets, if it never rests? How can truth settle inside you if noise is constantly interrupting it? How can you hear the quiet voice of God when your attention belongs to everything else? That is why I believe so many men just feel spiritually disconnected. It's not because God left. God's the same as he was. God's the same today as he was yesterday, as he's always going to be. But we feel disconnected because men have lost the ability to be still long enough to hear him. Here's the irony. Most of the things that we're chasing today, we think that these things are finally going to make us feel alive, right? More money, more status, more followers, more success, more validation, more stimulation, more control. And none of it touches the real hunger underneath, because the deepest hunger in a man is not for attention, it's for connection. Connection to God, connection to truth, connection to himself, connection to others. This is going to sting a little bit and maybe be out there, but I tell you what, Satan is perfectly happy to let you spend your whole life chasing substitutes, because a distracted man is easy to control. A fragmented man never becomes dangerous. A man addicted to noise never develops internal authority. And maybe this is why so many men secretly feel just empty now. Not because they lack opportunity, because they have slowly just lost themselves. The modern world has trained men to constantly look outward. Who's in power? Who's winning? Who's ruining everything? Who's to blame? Who's going to save us? Meanwhile, their own soul is collapsing quietly underneath them. And this is where Jesus completely flips the script, in my opinion, because when he came, people expected a ruler, right? This is just like the world today. People were looking for a conqueror, a king who would overthrow Rome. Power, control, dominance. And instead, what's he do? He rides in on a donkey, man. Not demanding power, but teaching transformation, teaching love, teaching forgiveness and self-governance, teaching responsibility, teaching relationship. Love your neighbor as yourself. Do you understand how radically different that actually is? Because if men truly live that way, everything changes. Families change, communities change, nations change. But you can't love your neighbor when you're consumed entirely with yourself. Your fear, your image, your success, your comfort, your outrage, your constant hunger for more. And I believe that's the trap right now that most men never even realize they're inside of, because the world has convinced them that self-obsession is normal, that constant consumption is normal, that exhaustion is normal, distraction is normal, spiritual numbness is normal. Brother, this isn't normal. This is drift. And if you don't wake up to it, life starts slipping away quietly. Years disappear. Your kids grow up. Your marriage drifts. Your peace disappears. Your mind becomes noisy. Your heart becomes hard. And eventually, you stop even remembering what connection feels like. And that's what terrifies me for men right now. Not weakness, not failure, not numbness. Because the more distracted a man becomes, the harder it is for truth to reach him. And eventually, he starts mistaking spiritual starvation for normal life. And that's why attention matters so much, because whatever owns your attention eventually shapes your identity. So maybe before you ask, how do I fix my life? You ask a different question. Sit on this question. What owns my attention? What do you feel every day? What controls your emotions? What shapes your thoughts? What steals your peace? What keeps pulling you away from stillness? Because your attention is not a small thing. It is your life. And maybe the first step back toward God is not trying harder. Maybe it's finally becoming quiet enough to hear him again. And if this episode hits something in you, if part of you is realizing how much noise has been shaping your life, don't ignore that, man. That awareness matters. That's the beginning of waking up. Everything that we've built inside Resurrection Kings exists to help men reclaim internal authority again. Not through hype, not through performance, just through truth, structure, rhythm, and alignment under God. And if you need somewhere to start, download Severin. It's free. Simple daily orientation to help you stop drifting unconsciously through your life. If you want to understand the deeper patterns and strongholds underneath all of this, read The Real Fight. And if you're done trying to rebuild yourself alone, that's what the coaching path is for. Everything is at resurrectionkings.com. But more than anything, pay attention to what's happening inside you right now. Because the man who learns to govern his attention eventually learns to govern his life. And we're just getting started.